What's going on? What's going on? Welcome in, y'all. Good morning. Welcome to the Gridiron, episode 18. It's your boy, Jersey the King. Today is an amazing show. We got an amazing show today. This is a huge step in my podcasting career. We have a wonderful guest, ESPN's own Skubie Mageza, joining the show today. So sit back, relax, and get ready. We're about to talk some football. We're about to get to know Skubie a lot more, and we're about to see what happens. So let's get into it, y'all. Without further ado, I'm not even going to waste no time. We're going to bring this man on because you already know he's a busy man. He works for ESPN, so we got to get him in here, spend some time with him, and let him get on with his day. So y'all get ready, man. It's going down. Let's bring him on in.
Yo,
Skubie. What is
what's
going
going
on,
on?
brother? How you doing?
I'm
Welcome
doing
in.
well.
Welcome
I'm doing well.
in.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for taking the time out today, man, to be on the show. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Like I said, this is a huge moment for me, man. This is really big. I'm happy for everybody in here. Ben, Hit, Chuck, all my fans that are watching. This is huge for me, man. How are you this morning, man? How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. Glad to be here. Always looking to support any brother trying to chase a dream, chase a goal of some sort. But work last night, a little bit late, but we're at it. It's Saturday. We feel good. How are you
Right.
doing?
I'm doing well, man. I've been excited for this, already know, for a couple weeks now. So it's
Huh?
just been getting to this day is just been exciting. It's crazy because this morning I just found out my cousin was killed. So it's like, it's a good day and like a heart crushing day. But like I said, just you
Sorry to
taking
hear
this
that.
time
Sorry
out
to hear that.
today, the show goes on, and I know he's watching over me, man. So we're gonna have a great show today. And like I said, I'm just happy to have you here today and taking some time out. You worked last night, and still found the time out of your day to get up this morning and come checking with me and holler at me and help me out with promoting my show and promoting the XFL mainly because I do cover the USFL, I do cover the NCAA and the NFL, but like everybody knows, like I love to talk about the XFL. I love the XFL, and to have you on the show, being a host of the XFL Today show, man, it's so exciting for me because you seen I was in the show every week faithfully and just trying to engage with you guys and help promote the XFL is just all I've been wanting to do for the longest, ever since 2001, to be honest with you. So to
Wow.
have you here today, man, it's awesome. Now,
Yeah.
my first question, you're from Zimbabwe, am I correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
I did my research. I know a little bit. Now,
Yeah.
you moved
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
when you were 7?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Why
Yeah. I
don't you tell
came
us a
here with my
little bit
family.
more about the journey from, Zimbabwe and to America and just everything that you've done to get to where you are today?
So it was me, my mom, and my brother. When I was about 7 years old, we moved to Boston. My grandmother was here with a couple of my aunts, and it was one of those do or die situations with my mom. You come to America for an opportunity, and my
Right.
mom saw a better life and future for her children by coming to America. So that's what we did, and I was raised in the Revere, Massachusetts. Ended up going to school over there, and we lived in a 2-bedroom apartment with about 6, 7 people when I was a kid.
Oh, wow.
You just try to make whatever happen as you get into this country as immigrants, and as an immigrant, you kind of come in with a different mindset into this country because there's nothing to go back to or to lean
Right.
back on. So getting to ESPN was definitely this is why we came to this country moment for my family and I. And to get over here to this spot, it took a lot of prayer, a lot of faith, and I started my career behind the camera at Fox 25 after I graduated. And I was working teleprompter from 3 a.m. to 11 a.m. All I did was just sit in
Oh,
the back of the
wow.
control room turning a knob. However, that was my foot in the door opportunity. And through that opportunity, I was able to network my way into the sports department. I just went up there and I told them, like, I'm only here because I'm trying to do what you guys are doing.
Right.
And just going up to people and searching for mentors and asking for help is such a key element and a key characteristic for one to have in life as you pursue and chase your dreams, because everybody got there with some type of help, and
Exactly.
everybody's looking to help for the most part, but you just got to ask for it. And I was not afraid to ask. And through that, I was able to create a resume reel. I ended up at Patriots Media Days. I ended up at New England Patriots home games, and I had a mentor by the name of Brian Salmon,
Oh,
who's
wow.
an anchor in Las Vegas as well. That's my homie till this day, and he looked out for me, took me under his wing, and I had been applying for jobs religiously beforehand, but I just couldn't land anything, whether it be my look, my style, the lack of experience, whatever it is, you name it. Just couldn't land anything. But eventually, my first job was in Market 208 in
Oh,
Alpena,
man.
Michigan. And for those that don't understand the markets in television, there's 210 in the country. First being New York, second being LA, third being Chicago. It goes by the city and the amount of people that they reach. And I was in 208, like all the way in the back. And that's how I had to start my career. But just that opportunity was all I needed to be able to eventually make my way over to ESPN. And market 208, and we're talking about a market with 8,000, 10,000 population, 30 black people total. I had to learn how to
Oh,
cut my
man.
own hair because there was no black barbers. I mean, it is a remote area, but you typically get your start in this industry by working in a small market and
Right.
working your way up. And I was excited to just get the reps, because all I need is reps and coaching, and I'm going to get better. I continue to search for
Exactly.
mentors, get coaching, and I have my reps. And then from market 208, after 19 months there, I was at market 103 in Iowa. And then I spent 3 years in Iowa when I eventually made my way to ESPN.
Now, I seen a it was a clip from you working in Iowa, and
Mhm.
it was you just being able to. The thing I loved about watching that clip was that news station. It seemed like they allow you to be unapologetically you.
Yeah.
And the clip that I seen was you actually talking about social injustice,
Hmm.
and you were all flyed up in your suit. You know what I mean? And just to see you at that point before before you made your way eventually to ESPN, because I did a lot of when it comes to following you and Fitz and Joey G, because like I said, I was a huge fan of the XFL Today show. So I did a lot of research, and when I watched that clip, it was so touching, bro. It was so touching to
Thank you.
see you be able to get to speak your mind on a local news station, and especially in an area like Iowa. Because I lived in Nebraska, actually. I lived in Bellevue, Nebraska, about 20 minutes away from Omaha for a while. And I know what you mean about the low population of black people and being in such a diverse community that you stick out like a sore thumb. You know what I mean? And you have to adapt as well as still try and be yourself. You know what I mean? And it was hard, but like you said, persevering through that adversity is what got you to where you are today. And like I said, man, just your story. Another question. I'm sorry. How was it at Curry College?
It was dope. I loved Curry College. I really enjoyed my college experience being an athlete, a student athlete. A lot of challenges come with it. I think in the professional world, athletes have a lot of a lot of tangible skills that I think student athletes have a lot of tangible skills that are underlooked, because we understand that you have to sometimes lose in order to win. You understand what hard work and consistency takes, and you have to be able to balance your schedule, because you
Right.
got practice, you got training, you got class, you got homework, you got assignments, you're trying to get a part-time job. So I really enjoyed my time at Curry, and now I made some lifelong friends.
Now that's dope. That is so dope. That is a dope thing to be able to experience. I didn't get to go to college. Unfortunately, I was actually an athlete back in high school, and my junior year, I had a bunch of scholarship offers early, like pre-scholarship offers and opportunities in my junior year for, you know, major colleges to go play football. But I ended up getting injured, and it kind of, you know, ruined my college career and my future. So I continued to stay in my music because I'm a singer. So I continued to do my music and pursued that. And then when I got hurt at work, like I was telling you before the show, my wife, to keep me from going into depression, she got me into streaming gaming because I was sitting here playing the video game every day as much as I could to be able to keep my mind off of everything and keep myself from going into that dark place of not feeling like I'm not a man anymore. You know what I mean? So she really pushed me into streaming, and then podcasting just naturally came. You know, it's something I've always wanted to do. So, like I said, getting into this and having to overcome that adversity as well, and not being able to get to go to college was tough, but it made me who I am today. And I feel that the more hard work I keep putting in, I'm going to eventually be able to say, hey, I'm going to work for the XFL one day, and someone's going to see that. You know what I mean? And I'm going to be there. I'm going to be next to you on the XFL today.
Yes. Power in words, brother. Power in words, and there is also so much power in just perspective and mindset. Everybody's
Right.
faced with challenges, and everybody's faced with situations, but we can't always control what happens to us. However, we can always control our reaction to the things that happen to
Exactly.
us, and that's what truly defines us as men, as people, because that's what you want to be remembered for. Because at the end of the day, our energy is so important, and it's important for us to have the perspective that is reflective of a person who wants to react to something, of problem solving and being able to persevere through those situations.
Right. Definitely, man. And like I said, just seeing you go from a teleprompt controller, a teleprompter controller, to being on an actual news station, and even if it's a small market, at the end of the day, you hit that plateau. You know what I mean? And then you get to where you are now. It's such an inspiring story for people like me, young black men
Mhm.
trying to get out there and pursue a dream, and then actually get to see it come into fruition. It's just an amazing thing. And to see other people do it, it just gives me that promise, like, hey, I know I can do it too. You know what I mean? So like I said,
Facts.
you're an inspiration to me, man, and I look up to guys like you. What is it like being on ESPN? Like, what is it actually like being on a set and being able to enjoy the life of being a host on ESPN on any type of show, whatever it's covering? It's sports, you know what I mean? So you can't go wrong. How is it actually being on ESPN and being a host on a show?
Man, every single time it's such a moment of gratitude, because I know what it took to get to this spot, right?
Right.
And it took a lot of work. It took a lot of struggle as well, and uh, it's it's the preparation leading up to this point, the experiences leading up to this point, that makes me feel even better when I'm up on that TV set. And there's a very thin line that you also want to walk, of not being too caught up in the fact that I'm at ESPN, but rather, understanding that this was God's plan and His blessings for me to be here. So I want to be able to respect that blessing as much as possible by working hard and not getting too high, not getting too low, but trying to stay even. And I remind myself of that, because it's a big stage. And early on, I would say it was a challenge trying to get through that mental block of being on the same stage as some of the people that I've been watching my entire life on TV. I'm
Right.
sitting there at the college football national championship, seeing these people that I've been watching on television, hearing, retweeting their stuff, and here we are sitting right next to each other. And just the year before that, I was in a high school football field covering the Division 5 championship or whatever it is with about 100 people there. And now I'm on the biggest stage in the entire country. But
Right.
the key of it is uh, keeping that mental mindset of you deserve to be here and being grateful for it at the same time. And like I say, trying to stay even keel the whole time. The team of people that you work with is so talented. And that's one of the biggest differences at ESPN. When you're at local markets, a lot of the times things are put on your shoulders. For
Right.
you to come up with ideas, for you to direct, produce, and do all these different things. But when you're with so many talented people, it takes off so much weight off of your shoulders. And I'm so grateful for the team. I'm so grateful to be there. And those things are really what drives and pushes me. And it's just about trying to have that narrow mindset, that tunnel vision of I'm on this show. I've prepared, I'm ready, and you try not to make the moment bigger than what it actually is.
Right. So being humble mainly is a
Yeah.
huge key.
Yep.
And
Like,
I tell people all the time, like, even for me, getting an opportunity even like this is one of the biggest opportunities in my podcasting careers. And it's early in my podcasting career. And
yeah.
I just, like I told people, I just reached out to you. Honestly, I literally just hit you up on Twitter and was like, let's see what happens. You know what I mean? But
You'd
just
be
having you on
surprised
here,
where
like,
that can take
it's humbling for me because I didn't think that it could happen, but I knew in the back of my mind that it probably could. You know what I mean? So when you hit me back and he was like, sure, let's go for it. And I'm like, I'm over here with my wife. I'm just going, I'm like, babe, he said yes. Babe, he says yes. And I'm just freaking out. And I'm like, this is huge for me. You know what I mean? Because it's just one step
I
to another
appreciate
big
that, bro.
step. You know what I mean? So again, like I said, it's humbling. Now, one thing you did just mention, it was a it's kind of a challenge being in a local market compared to working on ESPN because you have a full team of talented people that have creative ideas and things like that. But when you were in those local markets, kind of being forced to have to use your creative mind and direct and produce and things like that and come up with a script per se, how was it more fun being able to use your mind freely than compared to, I wouldn't say more fun, but was it is it a different experience? There you go. Is it a different experience being able to be that creative and having to feel like you have to put out something that's great in order for it to be successful compared to being on ESPN and you have a whole team around you where you guys can just throw ideas around each other, you know what I mean, and come up with something amazing. What's the huge difference and how does it really compare?
Oh, well, the biggest difference between working in a local market, especially in the markets that I worked in, which weren't that high, uh, is the fact that you essentially do everything yourself. They call it one man band. So
Uh-huh.
a typical day for me would be I would go and cover games. So I would have to drive towards these games. I would have the big camera on my shoulder and I would record highlights and then go to another game, record highlights, go to another game, record highlights. I could go to 3 games in a night and then drive back to the station. And then I have to upload those clips and edit that video myself. And then after editing the video, I have to write the script. And then I have to create the rundown. And then I have to go and change into my anchoring suit and then go on set and deliver the show. And usually
Wow.
get about 3 to 6 minutes total, which is on the longer side sometimes at some news stations. It depends on
Right.
which one you're at, and there's so much that goes into it that you're being pulled in many different directions. So the aspect of creating everything from scratch, it truly teaches you everything in the business, makes you understand the the different levels, the different responsibilities that you have within a show. and you're a one-man band. You do it by yourself. But when you're at ESPN, I have this whole team. I have people who film. I have people who write. And then
Right.
now the direction that I'm being pulled in is just being a host and making sure that I'm able to present this content the way that I feel comfortable with, the way that the producer trusts. And it's a lot more of a team collaborative effort. So the biggest difference is in that I don't have to wear as many hats. I'm wearing
Right.
one hat, and I'm trusting my teammates to a greater level. When you're in a sports department at a news station, there's only about two or three of you in the entire department,
Oh
and
wow.
that other person is doing something else. And it depends on the vibe of you two together. How is that other person with the way that you work? Are you getting help from that other person? But when you're at ESPN, it's a whole team of people, and instead of having a 3 to 6 minute sportscast, you're having a 30-minute show. And in the digital realm, we have that with no teleprompter, and we have that with no commercials. So
Right.
it's just straight on through from the beginning to the end. And as talent, you get to focus on your delivery and how you do things and the creativity and how things goes. It is a little bit more flexible, but you can trust your teammates a little bit more
Right.
than when you're by yourself in a 3 to 6 minute show. So there's a lot of different elements towards it because now you have a longer show. Now you're not by yourself, and when you're not by yourself and you're working with teammates, you're able to trust them more. And it goes back to being a former athlete. The best teams that succeed and win championships are the ones that trust them, that trust each other on
Yep.
the field, that trust each other on the battlefield. And that
Exactly.
trust aspect of being on the team is so big at ESPN because uh, a lot of us have to be able to just trust each other in the way that we put out the content.
Exactly. That's awesome, man. That is awesome, man. And that's something huge for me to feed off of because now it gives me a better perspective on my future and what I'm trying to do and where I want to go
Yeah.
with it. And being that I'm not starting in a news station or, journalism or anything like that, I'm literally starting in sportscasting. It's a different path for me, but I can see the shortcuts and the angles and the opportunities that's available if I just keep on grinding. Now, I
Amen,
do
brother.
have a question for you from one of my viewers. His name is Hit. He's one of my moderators. He says, "Was this always your job goal, or did you have another job in mind? And if so, what was the turning point that made you take this career path?"
The
That's a great question,
beauty,
Hit.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Great question. The beauty of what I'm doing is uh, I'll go back to high school. Football player, always loved the game of football. And I remember one teacher when I was in his classroom, we were just vibing whatever after school, and he was like, "Scooby, what do you want to be when you grow up? Like, what do you want to study in college?" I'm like, "Well, I'm trying to make it to the league." Everybody
Right.
got league dreams. If you love the game, you want to eventually get to the league. He's like, "All right, but what about something else to fall back on? You can't do that forever. What's one job where you wake up every single morning and you don't hate your job?" And I said, if I'm not going to be in the NFL, then I want to talk about the NFL. So from the day
Exactly.
that I stepped foot in college, and my teammates will even tell you, my classmates will even tell you, which is what the beauty of what I'm doing and why I'm so grateful. And God definitely has some divine intervention. Is I've always said the ESPN is the goal. From when I, from my freshman year of college, from when I graduated high school, I said I want to work at ESPN. So I'm very grateful that I was able to move through life with a purpose because I was able to make deliberate decisions that spoke towards my goal. The consistency and the marathon of this path is reflective of me knowing exactly what I wanted to be from the beginning. I always speak about a GPS. I call it the God's positioning system.
Mhm.
Everybody knows the GPS because you plug in your destination and then you make your way to the destination
Yep.
following the voice of the GPS. But for me, I plugged in ESPN to my GPS from day one. So that voice, that God from above, when He would speak to me, I would make deliberate decisions that spoke towards the direction of making it towards ESPN, and that was taking the job to work teleprompter when I first graduated college. And that was me deciding to move to this weird rural area, knowing that it will eventually help me get to my purpose and my dream. So I was able to make deliberate decisions that at the time may not have been where I wanted to be, but it was exactly where I needed to be in order to get to my destination.
That's awesome, man. Hit says that's so dope. I feel that, mad respect for knowing your path. Most people don't even know when to go to college, so that's just an awesome thing. Thank you, Hit, for the question, man. That's awesome. I definitely go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying thank you, Hit. That was a great question for sure.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't like you said. A lot of people don't know what they want to do when they're getting ready to get out of high school. You know what I mean? And just for you to have that type of mentor to sit down and ask you and to make you really think about it, like if you don't make it to the league, then what? You know what I mean? And even when I was coming up in high school and playing football, like you said, our goal is always to make it to the league as a football player, basketball player, any sports player. We want to make it to the major league. You know what I mean? And when that dream gets cut short, if you don't have a backup plan, it's like, what's next? You know what I mean? So to know that you had a backup plan, and when the league didn't work out, that dream of pursuing the league didn't work out, you had a backup plan to fall back on, and now you're where you're at. You may not, like you said, you may not be playing in the league, but you're covering the league.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
either way, you made it. What's going on, Perk? Welcome into the show, man. Skubie Mageza, host from ESPN's here. If you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat, and we'll go ahead and ask them. Skubie, is there anything that you want to relate to the viewers that can just inspire us to keep pursuing our dream? Because like I said, I'm 37 years old now. I just turned 37 on the 9th, but I want to work for the XFL. So for a person like me or small time podcaster like my buddy Gabe Garcia of the Gridiron Nation podcast, who has a question for you as well, we'll get to in a second. But what kind of message would you give to us to continue pursuing what we want to get to where we want to be?
Consistency is most definitely key, and you can be your own worst enemy sometimes. Life is interesting these days because we constantly are overloaded and shown accomplishments on social media, somebody doing it big, somebody doing something amazing, and
Right.
you look at your life and then you start to compare yourself towards others. I think one thing to do is to do what I mentioned earlier, figure out what it is that you love, what your purpose is, and then relentlessly chase after it. uh, your mental health as you go through that is very key, and we can get in this feedback loop sometimes of just beating each ourselves up
Right.
when we mess up, or we don't get necessarily accomplish or aren't doing exactly what we need to do. Once you start to figure out a system, it's important to have a system every single day that speaks to the person that you want to eventually become. Doing something every single day that gets you one step closer, because that system within itself, through consistency, day after day after day, you're going to see results. Which is why I'm just so big on the gym. I compare a lot of my things in life to the gym, because you'll be working sometimes in the gym and you'll be feeling the pain, but you don't get the results. But if you
Right.
stay consistent through it, a couple months later, you're going to see it. So staying with what you know you want to do, and then being consistent with it. And boredom can be one of the biggest killers towards success, because you're doing something, and when you're doing it, it's working, but then because it's been done for so long, you kind of want to switch it up. But sometimes what you're doing is exactly what you need to keep on doing, because you're
Right.
just close enough. So make sure to stay with it, and take care of your mental, man. It's so big, mental health and
Most definitely.
physical health as well. And for me, spiritual is another thing that I add towards that list. Just stay consistent and find your purpose.
Bet. Um, Gabe Garcia, one of my viewers, he's actually a podcast show host as well. He covers XFL, USFL, NFL as well. He says, was the XFL something you chose to follow and cover, or was it something that just fell in your lap?
So as we got the word that ESPN was going to have a hand in the XFL coverage, immediately I was interested in it because football is my game. I love the game of football. So those
Right.
responsible for how the XFL is going to be covered made sure to drop some seeds and just be like, hey, if there's a way for me to be involved in this, I would love to. So that there goes that aspect of just making sure you communicate with people and making sure you're letting them know what your desires are. And I made deliberate decisions that uh, were hopefully going to help me get into that position. And through that, I was brought up in the possible names of people to be on the show. And
Right.
God willingly, I was on those short lists and able to be on the XFL show. So I guess it's a little bit of half and half where I pursued it because I heard that we were going to be a part of it, and I'm already
Right.
in that realm, and the timing worked out perfect. And then they decided to give it to me and chose me for the XFL show as well.
That's dope, man. That is so dope. And that show was so lit. Quick question before we get into this other viewer question. Do you think that they're going to eventually put that show on the ESPN channel itself and not just stream it on ESPN Plus and YouTube? Because I love the YouTube aspect and keeping
Yeah.
the viewers involved. But are we going to get XFL today on local cable or excuse me on the ESPN actual cable station?
It's a hard question to answer because those are that's a answer that has to go to the power that has to be answered by the powers to be. But I
Right.
will, however, say it is a digital show, and ESPN and Disney itself are very um, committed towards growing our digital audience. And
That's
consumer habits have changed, and they continue to change. People are
true.
watching on their phone. People are streaming. Nobody really has cable as much as they used to back in the day. So
You're right.
YouTube is a very powerful tool if you're able to gain an audience from that. So I think the show itself is due to grow on YouTube, grow on the digital world, and that's where the viewers are happy to have it.
Right.
There are other shows that could possibly pull up from it on cable, on network, but I think it's something that's built for digital. But who's to say it doesn't change?
Right. And you know what? You are right. You're absolutely right. The turnout for the YouTube stream was always huge. It was always double digit numbers, because I was in there. So it was always double digit numbers. It was always people in there chatting and being interactive, speaking with me or you, Joey G and Fitz. And I feel where you're coming from because, like you said, it's a digital world now. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't have regular cable, and if they do, it's still through a streaming service like Sling TV or Fubo or something like that. So I get exactly where you're coming from. I was just seeing if you had any knowledge of the future of the show possibly being on the broadcasting, but I get it. It does do more being on a streaming service than actually being on TV. So it makes a lot of sense. Another question from Hit. He said, is this your forever job, or do you have something bigger planned in the near future that still deals with sports?
I just got to ESPN, so the goal right now is to climb up the ladder, and I
Gotcha.
think as humans, we're always looking for challenges or things to accomplish or some type of problems. It's just kind of our nature. We're always trying to grow. Growth is so key and important,
Right.
and as I continue to grow in my career, I think my goals are going to become bigger and bigger, and I try to make them as high and as big as possible because once you reach a goal, it automatically becomes all right, what now? So instead of having a goal necessarily of what I want to do, I think my mindset is growth because there is always room for growth, no matter how successful you can be in your career or your life. And then there's always going to be that challenge of, all right, accomplished something huge, but there's
Yeah.
an opportunity for me to still grow from this. So growth within the industry is going to be my forever goal. And then growth within, my life, my generational wealth, grandkids, of just trying to make sure that you set everybody up in your family lineup for a good future. I think
Right.
that is my goal. ESPN is a means of income and a means of uh, a channel that feeds my passion. And I'm very fortunate to be in a place and have a job where I wake up every day and say, I can't believe I do this for work, because
Right.
I am very passionate about it and I love what I do. And I'm very grateful that every single time I go on campus and I see that ESPN shining on the top of the building, like, wow, I really work here.
Right.
But it's also something it's not necessarily a job that defines who I am. So you trying
Right.
to remember that, and you try to be your own brand and be Scooby. Scooby is me. I am my own brand, and I work at ESPN. And ESPN is an incredible worldwide brand that
Right.
is giving me a platform that I could have never imagined. And at this point in time, it's about climbing that ladder and just continuing to grow at the company. And then with whatever opportunities ESPN offers me, I'll continue to invest within myself outside of work as well and try to grow that brand.
Y'all gonna see Scooby as the next Stuart Scott. I'm telling you, y'all better, gonna be at that Sports Center desk. Y'all better quit playing. This man got goals and ambition to get there, and that's awesome, man. That's
You
awesome to
feel me? You
hear.
feel me?
Um, what was your favorite moment of this XFL season? Let's talk some XFL. What was your favorite moment of this XFL season?
Wow. Okay. So there's been a bunch. I think I really enjoyed the what was it? The over was one of our last episodes, the overtime game.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, really enjoyed that because there's nothing like us breaking live into a game and then watching with our viewers. I
yeah,
really
that was so
enjoyed
fun.
the live reaction of, hey, we're in this together. I'm reacting to it the same way as you. I'm also a fan. And the way that the XFL is set up to make that final 2 minutes of the game the most entertaining 2 minutes in football is what makes that league different, because of the
Yeah,
4th and 15, because the clock stops after a first down. You can go for two, for three, for one, whatever it is.
right.
All that is great television, and we were able to watch that with our viewers, which I really enjoyed. So many great moments that the XFL offered, and I think that was what they did really well, of making sure that that final 2 minutes is going to be the most entertaining of the game.
Because it makes you want to continue to watch the full game. You know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
it's like you keep saying, those last 2 minutes, you never know what's going to happen, especially if the game is close. And 83% of the games this season were ended by less than one score, I believe. So
Yeah.
the product that we got on the field as fans, it was just so good to finally get that from the XFL,
Mhm.
and to have the XFL make history this year. And I keep saying it on the show every week. We made history this year. We're getting a second season. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The first time ever in XFL history. And people don't realize the XFL has been around. Some people don't realize that the XFL has been around since 2001, and they've never had a second season. And to have that now, and to have guys like you, Fitz and Joey G, have a show that brings the fans closer to the action. Like you said, we were able to watch the start of games and the overtime moments in certain games live on the show with you guys, and got to react to it with you guys exactly at the same time. So it was so fun to have that show around, and I can't wait for next year, for the show to come back. Do you feel, because I feel like this last season, the XFL teams only had 5 weeks of training camp, correct? Now, going
Yeah.
into the season, would you agree that the first 3 to 4 weeks was still training camp for these teams?
Oh, of
And
course.
next season, us getting a full mini camp, full training camp, a full off season in general. Do you feel that the difference of the start of the season will be way bigger of an impact on the league as a positive in the future than it was last year? Because we had a lot of sloppy football at the beginning of the season, of course.
Yeah,
But
yeah, most definitely. And a lot of those guys just hadn't played football in a long time.
true.
And now that you have this uh, XFL season that was successful for the first year, you have more guys that are willing to get into the XFL and join. You see a lot of guys got the opportunity to go to the league. So guys in college who graduate can now go straight to the XFL, play, get a pop in, and now the guys who played the XFL this season can come back and play again. So this year, the next coming year, I think the coaches as well understand the game. The rules was
Right.
different. The officials had to learn. The trainers, everything was new to everybody. Now you've
Yep.
had a season of doing this whole thing, and you can better lead guys into this new league and show them the ways better.
Right. Yeah, and it's awesome to see, man. Like you said, this is a league of opportunity for real, because we got 3 NFL or 3 referees get moved up to the NFL. They got a job in the NFL from the
Yep.
XFL. You see a lot more women referees, not only in the NFL, but the XFL had at least 6 or 7 female referees. So the diversity and the change that the XFL is bringing on to the sport of football is huge. And opportunities for guys like you to be able to cover the sport and help grow the sport, as well as lead the sport into the future. Because without you guys covering it, without that XFL Today show, honestly, in my opinion, the XFL doesn't get the exposure that it deserved. You know what I mean? Would you agree?
uh, I'm gonna stay humble, and I'm not gonna take credit for that to that degree. But I will, however, I will say we're proud and very happy to be able to help grow the league. I think that was our goal as a
Right.
team. We were just all so happy to be a part of something new and being able to pioneer this new league into the football world of football fans, because sports fans have a hunger for football. So to be
Yes.
able to help lead that passion and that excitement for a new league was very important to us, and we're just very happy to be a part of it.
Heck yeah, man. And I'm happy to be able to be on that show every week in the chat and support that show because I love it. And I have a question quickly. Did you get a chance to meet the owners? Did you get a chance to meet Danny, Dwayne, and Jerry?
No, we did not get a chance to meet with them. I think in the future, maybe that's something we look into a little bit more. It was kind of all over the place because they were being pulled in the when the games will be going up, they'll be a part of the games,
Right.
and a lot was on their plate. But this season, I think it's something that we definitely want to. We've talked about it as a team, trying to get the Rock on, and it's about growing the show as well. So, year one is over. Now we're at the
Yes,
drawing
sir.
board, trying to figure out the best ways to continue to grow the show and have them a part of it.
Awesome. Because it would be so great to have them actually come on the show, whether it's live on the set or, via video cast. You know what I mean? Just to see,
Yeah.
to give the fans, an opportunity to, say something to the owners and thank them for bringing us a awesome league this time around, because I feel that what they did by bringing this league back and giving the XFL another opportunity to shine and be successful, and the way they did it, it's huge, man. It's so riveting. I could say, because like I said, being a huge XFL fan and a lover of the league, to get it back and to get it back the way we got it, no gimmicks, no, WWE kind of atmosphere with it. It's just football. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's so
Yeah.
good to have the XFL back and it be a real spring football league. I mean, having over 60 guys get invites and over 30 of them being signed, That's huge. That's huge. And that just shows what the XFL is capable of doing when it comes to producing talent for the NFL. And they don't have to be a contractual, developmental league for the NFL in order to develop stars for the future. And I just feel that, with guys like you and me and, our small people covering the XFL, the ESPN host covering the XFL, all of us bringing the XFL to a whole nother level is going to really make the league succeed. And before we let you get out of here, because I know you're busy, I know you got to go, Hit wants to know, just in a game situation, when you're covering a game, if it gets rained out or if there's like a weather delay or eventually gets canceled, what do you guys do? Do you guys cover something else, or do you try to cover as much as you can and then end the broadcast?
It depends on the situation of where it gets canceled. Like let's say we had a game for our show and then the game gets canceled. We probably had about 4.5 minutes prepared for that game. So now we can talk about the possibilities of the matchups, and we can look forward. We can talk about other games, and then we leave it at that. But let's say that we're actually supposed to have where I'm the sports reporter, sideline reporter for this game or something like that. At that point, now ESPN has to scramble, and the guys in studio who usually do the halftime wraps, they now have to step in and come up with content. But a lot of this is planned ahead of time, and which is why everyone's so professional and such a great team. I mean, we can all get the weather report, and everybody can see things ahead of time, like, hey, there's a possibility that this game could get rained out or canceled. If that happens, what are we going to do? So all those just in case scenarios are there and set in place just to make sure that we're prepared to fill whatever time that we are going to miss out on. So it honestly depends on however much time that was needed from the group. And they'll have topics and they'll have people standing by ready to do whatever it is necessary. So it's all planned out ahead, and there are meetings planned out ahead, and there is a whole rundown. There is everything prepared just in case things don't work out. Yeah.
Gotcha. And that's, like you said, the difference between a local station and working in a local market compared to working at ESPN and having a whole team. Everybody's covered. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The what if situations are right. And the what if situations are covered ahead of time. Everybody, you guys plan for it. And that's just awesome, man. So there you go, Hit. That's what they do. Exactly, Chuck. They have a backup for a backup for a backup. And that's just awesome. Like you said, that's the difference between working in a local market and working in something worldwide like ESPN. And that's just awesome, man. So again, I want to thank you for taking almost an hour out of your afternoon to come on the show, man, and grace me with your presence and chop it up with us here, man. Like I said, you're an inspiration, and tell them boys at ESPN, I'm looking for a job.
He's coming. Yes, sir.
I'm coming. Yes, sir. I want to work for the XFL, man.
Yeah,
I look to be. I plan to be on the set with you guys in the near future, man, because the XFL is an awesome league, and I'd love to be a part of it. So, spread the word.
Yeah.
But again, brother,
keep going, man. Keep going. Don't stop. Continue to pursue what you do. As long as it's coming from a place of passion, then you've already won half the battle. Now it's just about reps and coaching, like I said, and this is a great opportunity for you to get some reps and just work on your craft and continue to stay humble through the process. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. Keep that tunnel vision and stay even.
Gotcha, brother. All the way from Zimbabwe to Boston to Curry College to ESPN. It's your boy Skubie Mageza. Skubie, go ahead and let everybody know where they can follow you and find you at.
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram. It's Scoobtastic, SKUB-tastic, and then everything else is Skubie Mageza, SKUBIEMAGEZA. And honestly, I'm one of the few Scoobies on most social media apps. So if you just typed in my name, Skubie, you're gonna find me.
Most definitely, man. Again, brother, I want to thank you for joining me and being here with me. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the time. You have a great day, and hopefully
Thank you.
soon we'll see you on the show again in the future.
Appreciate you. Have a great day too.
You too, brother. Thank you.
Peace.
Have a good one. Yo, was that not amazing? Brothers, ladies, what? Let's go. Thank you, Skubie Mageza, man. Thank you. Hit, Gabe, everybody for the questions. Thank you, guys. That was awesome. That was awesome, man. Let's go. Thank you. It said now you can show, right? Thank you, Gabe. Thank you, brother. Look, that was fun. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we're trying to bring to this show in the future. More guys like him coming on here and just letting us know what it is, how we can get to where they're at. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just where they're at, but where they want it to be. And just to have him come on the show and grace me with his presence, man, that's
excellent.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Amazing.
bruh. Who's excited? I'm excited. Let's go, man. Now, it is time to get into some XFL Showcase news because, bruh. Whoa. That was amazing. That was fun. He gave us almost an hour of his time, guys. That was a blessing right there, man. Just to have him here to just show some love, yo. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, Hit. Thank you, Gabe. Thank you, GV. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Perp, Ben, everybody, thank you for being here. Let's keep the show going, y'all. Let's keep it going. Y'all know what time it is? Do y'all want to know what time it is? Hold on, what's going on? It is
Mail time.
You feel me? Let's go. All right. We got some fan mail from my boy Hit. Oh, yeah, I got you, Hit. Roll up if you got to. Light up if you don't. It's 4:20 somewhere, and it's time to smoke. Let's get high and let's continue to talk some football, man. Okay, bet. Got you, Chuck. I appreciate it. See, let's go. Like the stream, y'all. Like the stream. Definitely like the stream. Share this thing. Y'all go share this on y'all social medias, yo. Because what? Skubie Mageza, ESPN host? Come on now. Tell me that ain't lit. You feel me? All right. It's mail time. Fan mail from a boy Hit. How much money? First question. How much money do you think between oh my goodness. That's that Oreos, y'all. He said, how much money do you think between the USFL and XFL is needed to spend or needs to spend to make profitable return on investment? Honestly, bro, it depends because it's not the old man cough. No, honestly, it depends because how much the league or how much the owners of the leagues put into the league itself depends on how much they're looking to get back on the return on investment. So it just depends. But they're looking. I'm gonna say it like this: these leagues are looking to make at least 50% to 75% of a return on investment from what they initially spent. So let's say they spent, let's just say, for instance, the XFL, they spent 30 million. They spent 15 on debt, 15 for the league. They also had to put in for equipment, just everything, uniforms, leasing the spots for these teams to play at, signing those contracts and things like that. So you got to look at it like this. They're looking to make 50% or more of that profit. So basically double or more of what they spent so that they get a successful return on investment and can go on into the next season. That makes sense? Gabe, man, how you doing today? Great show this week, bro. Great show this week. Whenever you ready to set up either StreamYard or Restream, let me know. Second question from Hit. As a fan of football in general, do you believe they are overpricing merch to compensate for lost ticket sales? Great question, bro. Great question, bro. And the reason why I keep saying that is because I think, honestly, that is what the XFL did this year, as well as the USFL. The price of an XFL jersey is $189. Next weekend is perfect. $190 for an XFL jersey. I get why they aren't selling them by individual player numbers and names, because we don't know who's going to be in the league for the next season or two. So if these players are moving on, I understand why they're just selling jerseys with the number 23 on it and the number 54. Player 54 is the whole motto and brand, of the XFL, that player 54 motto, that you got cut. You didn't make the 53-man NFL roster. You know what I mean? So you're a player 54. This is a league of player 54s. So that's why you got the jersey with the 54, but you have Dwayne Johnson's name on it. And I just think that's whatever. But the only other jersey you get is number 23. And that's just for the season, the 2023 season. Back in 2020, the jerseys were on sale like the same, but it was number 20 on it. You know what I mean? So I think they just do that for the year of the league or whatever the case, or the year that we're in. But I think that they overpriced some of the merch to compensate for ticket loss, not just ticket losses, not just sales of tickets, but just in general. You know what I mean? Because the XFL had pretty good turnouts, really, really good turnouts for, like, the XFL had good ticket price turnout. Like the fans buying tickets and showing up to the games, that wasn't a problem for the XFL. Now the USFL, on the other hand, that's a problem for them. You know what I mean? But yes, I think that especially with the USFL, they overpriced their merchandise because they barely made ticket sales. Come on now. Let's keep it real. But yes, I really do believe that they're compensating for loss of, ticket sales, overhead costs, whole nine. All right. Question number 3. Would you like to see a trial game for new players when they enter a team to see how well they fit in, or just have them run actual games and see how they fit? I think that eventually the XFL should do preseason games. Like, I honestly feel that the XFL should do preseason games, and that will give them a chance to really test out their rookies and their undrafted free agents and things like that. So in my opinion, I think they should do preseason. Preseason games would be perfect for that. You know what I mean? To be able to test out the new players and see how well they mesh with the team, not just training camp and minicamp. You know what I mean? An actual competition, an actual competitive games. So I think preseason would be perfect for them. Perfect for the XFL, perfect for the USFL. You know what I mean? And we got one more question for Hit. Look at your boy with 4 of them things. Now that the USFL and XFL has established a good year of football that they needed to, or now that the USFL and XFL has established a good year of football, do they need to add or change any of their rules for upcoming seasons? Great question, bro. In my opinion, the XFL needs to change up their playoff structure, but then again, not too much, because some teams last season or this past season didn't make the playoffs but had a winning record. And of course, there was a whole argument and debate and blow up on the internet or whatever the case about a 4-6 team making it to the championship game, which you already went over this. They wanted it more. Period, point blank. They did their job when the games counted. Period. They won the games that counted. So for me, I think that changing the playoff structure is key for them, making it more structured. And for the USFL, they really don't need to change much, to be honest. The USFL really doesn't need to change much, but the XFL, they need to change up their playoffs structure, to be honest. But that's really about it. You know what I mean? Just change up how the playoff structure works and things like that. And, you know, give more teams an opportunity. But it's hard when it's only a 10-team league. You know what I mean? So they just got to figure out what they're going to do for the future. And like I said, we'll just see what happens. So that really would be the only thing I feel needs to be changed is the playoff structure for the XFL. So my man Hit, I want to thank you for that lovely mail time. I want to thank you for the mail time. Thank you, Hit. Thank you for that, pimp. Appreciate you. Now, let's get into some XFL news. Like I said, we got some XFL news today. Y'all. Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, my bad, y'all. I messed up. Hey, I ain't want to share it like that. My bad. There we go. Now, as y'all see, bruh, as y'all see, he said, "Nah, I got you. I feel you. I feel because some sports teams change their shit through seasons. I got you, bro. Yeah, but that's just one thing I feel that they need to change up because the playoff structure was kind of wacky. That's about it, though. Like I said, the USFL is pretty good structure wise. I mean, they copied off the XFL. Let's keep it real. So there wasn't really much for them to have to change. But yeah, as y'all see, man, the XFL has claimed the rights to 44 undrafted rookies. So we got a lot of players from that rookie draft. You know what I mean? The only thing that I didn't like about the rookie draft was the fact that for some reason, I'm scrolling right there. Yeah, the fact that they didn't put they put the list of the draft order right here, right? But they didn't give us like an actual draft order when the draft was completed. You get what I'm saying? So like, yeah, we get this. You know what I mean? Boom. Draft complete, right? Now look at this. Look how they did it. They just put it all in alphabetical order. So we don't know who was the first pick Nothing, none of that. They just put all the teams in alphabetical order and all the player names in alphabetical order. So you don't even know who was the first or second pick of the actual rookie draft. And I think that's one thing that needs to change for next year. Exactly. They gave us a rough draft of the draft. Like, they didn't even really give us a draft because, first of all, it wasn't even live on television or on ESPN Plus or YouTube or anything. So we couldn't even watch the virtual draft. Then on top of that, it was like the picks were already made before the draft was set to be done, because when the draft started, the draft was over. So it was like, what the hell? Like, y'all already knew who you were going to pick. So I feel that they need to fix that next year too. They need to fix the draft, the offseason. Like, they need to fix the way they draft and shit, or how they do the draft. They're going to have a rookie draft. Hold it. Let's get to know these players. You know what I mean? Introduce these players. Have an actual draft. Put it in order. You know what I mean? Have structure with it. You know what I'm saying? And then with the whole showcase, with all the showcases, you know what I mean? It's not like the way they do the showcases. It's not bad at all. I like the way they do the showcases. I just feel that the way they do the draft was a little messed up and unfair to us as fans. If you're a league of the fans and this is a fan league or whatever the case, why didn't we get to see the rookie draft? You know what I mean? Like, why didn't we get to see the rookie draft and get to see the rookies that are coming into the league? It doesn't matter if they're not from all major schools and stuff like that. It doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. As a spring league trying to introduce players to us as fans, why not hold the draft live? Even if it is virtual, you can still do it. You know what I mean? So you could have had Skubie and Fitz and Joey G live on the show. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Exactly. We should have had access to let the fan put in the vote. I mean, the real football fans. Exactly. And like Gabriel says, I completely agree about the draft setup. The fans should have had access as it happened live. And that's my thing. Like, we should have been able to see it live. We should have been able to see it live and actually see what's going on. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know, man. I just feel like doing it like this, even on the website, showing it like this, that's not doing anything for us. We don't even know who was the first pick. Now, if you go back and you're like, okay, Orlando picked first, then Vegas picked first, you can still go and see who was picked and what, but you can't see the order because everybody's name is in alphabetical order. So we don't know who went where. And then when the draft actually happened, I didn't see any postings or anything saying, hey, this person went first, this person went second, or these are the top 5 picks in the draft, or any of that. So the draft structure definitely needs to be completed for sure, man. The draft structure definitely needs to be completed because, oh my goodness, what is going on? Bro. Hold on, y'all. I lost StreamYard. All right. I don't know what's going on with my computer right now. I'm trying to stop my share screen. Oh my goodness, man. Okay. Why is there so many? All right, my bad, y'all. It was acting crazy. Exactly. It looks like a bunch of names on a list with teams and positions. You know what I mean? So it doesn't really look like a draft. It doesn't give us the full effect of a draft. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, I don't feel this was a good way to do the draft, but it's a learning curve for them. So we'll see how they do it next year in the offseason. Hopefully they fix it. But like I said, that's just how it was. The showcases are going pretty well. We've had the HBCU showcase, and we had the first showcases in Atlanta, or first showcase in Atlanta as well. Now let's get into some XF or some USFL news because boy, the playoffs start today, and I mean they start today at 8 p.m. Pacific or Eastern Standard Time on NBC. We got the North Division Championship game, Michigan Panthers versus the Pittsburgh Maulers. And here, Michigan is 4-6. Pittsburgh 4-6. We got a whole nother XFL championship situation. It's going to be a 4-6 team taking on a winning record team. Tomorrow, the South Division Championship is going to be on Fox at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. New Orleans Breakers is going to be going into Birmingham Protective Stadium to take on the Stallions, the defending champions, who are 8-2. New Orleans is 7-3. Somebody's got to lose. Somebody's going to advance. It was a crazy week last week. And the only reason why I say that is because New Jersey got blown out by Pittsburgh. New Jersey got blown out by Pittsburgh. I mean, blown the hell out. The score was literally, let me see where it's at, 26-6. And that was a win and you're in. You know what I mean? Win and you're in. And boom. You know what I'm saying? Win and you're in. And New Jersey just couldn't get the job done. They finished with a 3-7 record. They just weren't there. They weren't there. From the start of the game, Pittsburgh was all over them. Offensively and defensively, it just couldn't be touched. And it showed. Pittsburgh came in, dominated the game from start to finish. Bro, they really did. They finished the season off making the playoffs. And then the second game last week was a close one. Memphis versus Birmingham. Memphis was at home. Birmingham came in there and just did the job. You know, it was a one-score game, 27-20. But Birmingham came in there, did their job, got the job done, kicked Memphis out of the playoffs. But got to give credit to Memphis coming back for the first time since the 80s rendition of the USFL. They finished the season 5-5. So not a bad start at all for this team moving forward in the future. There are tickets already on sale for next season for the USFL for their third season. So it was successful. Let's just keep it that way. We're just going to say that. Another one-score game. New Orleans taking on Houston. Winner gets in the playoffs. New Orleans goes into, I think it's Memphis, Liberty Bank. And, took care of business 17-10 and punched their ticket to the playoffs. And they'll be taking on Birmingham tomorrow. I think that the way they played last week, it was a lot cleaner than previous weeks this season. MBT definitely played a lot better than he has this season. You know, in some games this season was with the turnovers, I could just say. But overall, it was a very good weekend of football. And it ended with a thriller. I'm talking about a thriller. Philadelphia, 4-5. They're number one in the North going into the game last week, looking to just punch their ticket into the playoffs, right? Number one seed, right? Couldn't get the job done. Another one-score game. Michigan gets the job done in Michigan at home. They get the job done 23-20 and punch their ticket into, that Panthers in Stars game was fire. It was a barn burner. Boy, them boys was out there playing their ass off trying to make it to the playoffs, and Michigan succeeded. Now it's going to be Pitt versus Michigan. Everybody was looking to see I know a lot of Pennsylvania fans of the two teams were looking to see Philly and Pittsburgh battle each other for the playoff spot or for the championship spot. But unfortunately, Philly got knocked off by Michigan. Michigan came in and Josh Love was on point and he led his team to victory. You know what I mean? So it was a great last week of football for the USFL regular season. And I just feel that the playoffs are just going to be pretty good because it's energetic right now. You got four teams that are looking to really make a statement. Well, 3 teams that are really looking to make a statement, and 1 team looking to repeat. So we'll see what happens. Honestly, let me give you my picks for this weekend's games in the USFL. Today, Michigan and Pitt. I think if Pittsburgh gets started hot, it's theirs. They'll punch their ticket to the championship game. If Pittsburgh gets started hot, they will punch their ticket to the championship game, and they will make a statement as far as how their season went last year. The Maulers were horrible last year with Vlad Lee at quarterback and just how everything went. This year, rebranding the team with the new colors, because their colors were purple, orange, and white last year, I believe. This year, branding their team with, the Pittsburgh Steel City colors, the gold and black and white, really set the tone for the season with them. They wanted to make a statement, and it seems like they have by making it to the North Division Championship game. So I hope y'all ready, man. Today is going to be a good game. 5 p.m. Pacific, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, North Division Championship, USFL on Peacock and NBC tonight. Rug piece. And then tomorrow, and again, I think, like I said, if Pittsburgh gets started hot, they're going to win the game. But I really feel that Pittsburgh's going to win just in general. I may be wrong, but I feel Pittsburgh's going to win. Then tomorrow you got New Orleans going into Birmingham, taking on the defending champions at 4 p.m. Pacific, 6 Central, 7 Eastern on Fox, South Division Championship game. And I think New Orleans has a chance to win. I think New Orleans has a chance to win coming off last week's win and knowing that they can beat Birmingham. They can beat Birmingham. They know they can beat Birmingham. All they have to do is contain Alex Magoo. If the Breakers defense can contain Alex Magoo and stop him from utilizing his feet so much and extending plays and getting out of the pocket and being able to do what he want to do, I honestly feel that New Orleans Breakers could win this game. And that'll set up a great championship game for next week, or for the 30th, excuse me. Oh, my goodness. What is going on? Something's going on with my PC, bro. Give me 1 second, guys. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness, bro. Dude, I don't know why it's doing this. It keeps bringing up a daggone tab. All right. But, yeah, I think New Orleans has this huge chance. You said West Hills has to help them control the clock and keep Magoo off the field. That's another big key for them. They have to, because if they don't, then Alex Magoo's going to run all over him. We know this already. And that's going to be, but then again, I don't know. The defense that New Orleans has is tough, man. And they got them big boys up front that can really put a hurting on. Bro, you know what I'm saying? I don't know why I'm getting all these extra tabs. I don't know what's going on with the internet page. I don't like MSN, but whatever. But yeah, man, like I said, if New Orleans defense steps up today on a whole another level and really comes to play big boy style, like they know how to, I think they pull off the upset and make their way to the USFL championship. So let's get it popping, y'all. Who do you guys have between Pittsburgh and Michigan and between Birmingham and New Orleans? Who do you guys have, chat? I'm picking Pittsburgh and New Orleans. Pittsburgh in the North Division Championship. New Orleans in the South Division Championship with the upset. Who y'all got? We need to know. Gabe said he got Pittsburgh versus the Breakers versus in the chip. Okay, so we got the same picks. We got Pittsburgh winning the North Championship, New Orleans winning the South Championship. Okay. See, my Generals ain't show up this season, so because if it was me, my Generals made it, then period. Yeah, that championship game would be classic. If Pittsburgh and New Orleans both make it, Boogie Roberts and them boys on Pitt, they're gonna come to play. Know that they're gonna try to get after NBT. So that O-line better be ready. So, but yeah, it's gonna be a classic championship war, regardless, because all four teams have a decent defense. Michigan, they don't have the greatest, but they have a decent defense. Pitt has a really good defense. New Orleans has a really good defense. Memphis had a really, really good defense this season too, but that offense just didn't do enough, to complement the defense. Birmingham has a good defense, but I think when it really comes down to it, I think New Orleans defense is better than Birmingham's defense, and I think that's what's going to be key in this game tomorrow. As far as Pitt versus Michigan's defense, between the two, I think Pitt's defense is way better than Michigan's defense, and I think that's going to be a huge turning factor too in the game. Turnovers for Pitt is going to be huge the whole nine. So, who do you have? Let me know. Y'all see, I'm gonna have Gabe's gonna have me on his show in about a week or two. So y'all get ready for that. Of course, we're gonna be promoting that, of course. So y'all finally gonna get to see Gabe on camera on his show. So y'all get ready for that. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Also, man, I don't know. I'm looking to have more guests on the show and just see where the show goes from there. Just having different guests on and do these interviews and things like that, and get to know some of these people that I have on the show. It's a fun thing. You know what I'm saying? It's really, really fun to have like this experience and stuff like this. So, like I said, this is a huge stepping stone for me in my career of podcasting and, trying to get to the XFL and the ESPN as well. So this is huge for me, to be honest, because I wasn't expecting it to happen so early in my career doing this, but knowing that it happened, you know what I'm saying? Knowing that now I have that opportunity to really grow and continue to cover sports in football, of course, and the opportunities is going to open up for me in the future. This is massive, man. This is massive. And for you guys to be here today with me to experience this and enjoy it with me, man, I'm just grateful to have you guys here. Again, like the stream, please, if you haven't already. Follow me on Spotify. Follow me on in the show as well. Follow me on Kick. I am gaming again, so follow me on Kick. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, the whole nine. If any of these four teams can pull off an unlikely blowout this weekend, which one do you see being capable? For me, it would be Stallions if it gets going early. Pittsburgh. Honestly, Pittsburgh. After that win last week, after the blowout win last week, I think Pittsburgh, especially against Michigan, I think Pittsburgh is the team that can pull out the huge blowout. You know what I mean? They blew out New Jersey last week. I think they had another blowout performance during the regular season as well. So to end their regular season with a 20-point victory and to blow out a team, to be going into the playoffs playing a team like Michigan, who's not all the way there on both offensive defense, I think that Michigan is going to get blown out. if Troy Williams and them boys get going early and Boogie Roberts gets going early on defense, yeah, it's going to be a long night for them boys. See, that's the thing. The last 2 games, they haven't. They've been consistent. And I think that's the thing that got them to where they're at now, to be able to even contend for division championship. You know what I mean? So I look at that as well. I look at that as well. Come back as a condom. No, but I look at that as well. Like I know what you're saying. They have been inconsistent throughout the season, but this last few weeks throughout the end of the season, or leading up to the end of the regular season, they have been pretty consistent enough to get them where they're at. And like I said last week with that blowout win, I think they're going to come in and have that same mind frame. Like, let's get another blowout. Let's make a statement. So that way, when we make it to the championship game, whoever we're playing, they're not going to take us lightly. You know what I mean? So that's where Pittsburgh. That's where Pittsburgh's at. Yeah, but it was Philly. It was Philly. You said Michigan's defense impressed you last week against Philly's high-powered offense, but it was Philly. Philly's high-powered offense is only high-powered when everybody's on the same damn page. And Case Cookus and them boys was not on the same page. They weren't. They were, but they weren't. And like I said, the defense failed them. You know what I'm saying? The defense failed them. But Michigan is not prepared for what Pitt is going to be coming for today. I don't feel Michigan's going to be ready for them today. I feel Michigan's going to come in there thinking that Reggie Corbin's going to run all over him and all this other crap, and it's not going to happen. I think Boogie Roberts is going to have a hell of a game. I think Troy Williams is going to have a hell of a game. And even Groshek, I think he is going to have a decent game on the ground. So I'm telling you, man, don't sleep on Pittsburgh, man. They've been gelling the last couple of weeks leading into the end of the season. Exact. Boogie Roberts wants a chip, boy. Yeah, he wants a chip. You can tell he's a leader of that defense. So I just feel that that's what's going to happen. They're going to come in. They're going to shit on everybody on the offense. And Michigan's just going to have a tough night. And then tomorrow, don't count out your breakers, bro. Gabe, don't count out your breakers. Don't count out MBT and them boys. Please do not. They are one of the best teams. They started off 4-0. Hot. Don't count them out, bro. Don't count them out, man. I'm telling you. Do not count them out. I really feel confident. I think Birmingham's going to go into this game underestimating New Orleans, and New Orleans is going to upset their ass and make them look stupid. Believe me when I tell you. Okay? Believe me when I tell you. Yes, Johnny Dixon, you think he's going to get at least 2 touchdowns? Hey, bro, I feel the same way. I really do. I feel the same way, bro. I really feel that he's going to be a factor today. But look, now let's get into some Now let's talk about some NFL hot topics and headlines. Bruh, why Dalvin Cook and DeAndre Hopkins not signed yet? Neither one of them has signed to a team yet. Nobody has offered these boys contracts, no nothing. And now we're hearing that Dalvin Cook would like to play with DeAndre Hopkins. So wherever DeAndre Hopkins goes, Dalvin Cook may be likely on the way. So how do y'all feel about that, man? What do y'all think about Dalvin Cook possibly playing with what's your face? Oh my goodness, what is going on? How do y'all feel about Dalvin Cook playing with playing with DeAndre Hopkins anywhere, because DeAndre Hopkins might go to the Patriots, possibly. You know, I think the Patriots took our advice when me and Gabe were saying that they wouldn't let him get out of New England. I mean, he has went to New York and stuff, but I'm just saying, like, I think oh my goodness, bro. I think that he might stay with New England. I think that's a possibility. He said it won't happen. Cook already said he wants good money, and I don't know if anyone wants to pay him what he wants. I feel you. Well, it's not so much a follow the leader type of thing hit. It's more of a I've wanted to be a part of, a team with him on the offense type of thing. Like they've wanted to play with each other and make an impact on the same team. So it's not really more of the follow the leader. It's more of, we're friends. It'll be awesome to play on the same team. We can make an impact on the same team together type thing. You know what I mean? So we got to see what happens. You know what I mean? We really got to see what happens, because this could be huge for any team that gets either one of these guys or both of them. Any team. There's possible talks about the Cowboys. There's possible talks about the Chiefs. There's possible talks about New England. There's possible talks about a few teams. And it will be interesting to see where they land up. Even the Jets. Like, they're talking about he possibly might end up in New York with Aaron Rodgers. So it's going to be interesting to see where. Yeah. I mean, that's true. That's very, very true. But like I said, it's just going to be interesting to see where it goes. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, that's huge. Whichever team gets both of them, like let's just say they go together. Let's just say that they go to a team together. You know what I mean? Whoever gets both of them, that's going to be bananas for them, yo. That's going to be bananas for them. Dalvin Cook at running back and D-Hop. Come on now. Dalvin Cook and D-Hop. Come on now. But you're right. Cooks did have Jefferson. That's about as good as you can get at wide receiver. But I mean, Jefferson learned a lot from D-Hop and players before him. Understand that too. Remember that too. You know what I mean? So, it's just a matter of where, you know what I mean, where they go. Because that's going to be a huge statement. You give these guys a team that's primed for a run that would be major, yeah. Because Dalvin Cook on the ground is just going to open up the pass game. Period. Dalvin Cook on the ground is going to open up the pass game. That's just a given on any team. That's why Kirk Cousins was somewhat successful. Because he had Justin Jefferson, he had Adam Thielen, he had Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook was able to take care of business on the ground and be a receiver. So it opened up the playbook for the coach. It opened up things for Kirk Cousins, and just made it easier for their offense. Keep it 100. So, like I said, if D-Hop and Dalvin Cook goes on the same team, it's going to be beneficial for that team. It's going to be huge for that team going into this season. So we just got to keep an eye on, where they go. There's still no word of where they landed or if they signed. So, like I said, we just got to wait and see how things go. Honestly. Because that's going to be huge. Like I said, it's going to be huge as hell for any team that picks up these two guys. I'd love to see him sharing reps with Pollard in Dallas. Bro, I would too. I know. Nobody wants to see that. You know what I mean? Nobody at all wants to see that. But it could possibly happen. And if Dalvin Cook ends up in Dallas, bro, him and Pollard, and then if D-Hop comes, that's just overload, to be honest. One of them receivers going to have to leave if D-Hop come. I'm going to be 100. If them boys decide to go to a team together and it just happens to be Dallas, one of them receivers is going to have to go. See, like for me, with them two joining the same team, I think New England would be a better fit because they need a running back. They need another running back. Don't get me wrong, Stevenson's good, but somebody like Dalvin Cook will help. I don't either. I don't see DeAndre Hopkins in Dallas at all. I do not see him in Dallas at all. It would be a huge surprise to me if he is wearing a Cowboys jersey this season. It would be a huge surprise to me because I just don't see how that works. We would have to give up a receiver or two to make it even fit. You know what I mean? So I don't see that happening. I could see Dalvin Cook coming to Dallas, but I don't see DeAndre Hopkins coming to Dallas at all. I don't see that happening whatsoever. So, but like I said, it's just we gotta see. You know what I mean? We gotta see what happens. And you already know when that news breaks, I will be covering it and reporting it for you guys. I'll let you know. Gabe will let you know as well. Make sure y'all following him on Spotify. Make sure you're following him on Twitter as well as Facebook and all his other socials. You know what I'm saying? This is how we get down here. But yeah, man, I feel like he's not a fit in Dallas. It would be okay to have him, but I just don't see where he would fit. Let me say it like that. I'm not going to say he's not a fit in Dallas because he could. He could easily be number 2. Brandon Cooks number 3. CD Lamb number 1. And then bam, you got 3 good receivers. And then you put Michael Gallup in there. You know what I mean? You got a wide receiving core of 4 great receivers. You know what I'm saying? So, but still, like I said, I just don't see it happening. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see it happening. But I do want to take this time out, man, again, to thank Skubie for coming on today. This was an awesome show today, man. I had a lot of fun today. Get to chop it up with that man. You know what I mean? Exactly, hit. Yeah, I want to take the time out to thank Skubie for coming on today, man. It was awesome to have him here. You dig? And like I said, man, I love you guys for always being here to support me. Next week, I will let you guys know if there will be a guest or not. More than likely, as of right now, I don't have any plans of having a guest on. So, but we'll be getting into some more off-season news. The college season is coming. The college football season is coming. It starts in August, so y'all get ready for that. It's about a month, still a month, little over a month away, I believe. But like I said, just get ready for some college football talk coming soon. Especially for the preseason AP polls. I'll be definitely keeping you guys up to date on the AP polls coming out soon for the college season. And then you got the NFL season coming in 2 months. So it's a lot, man. We got year-round football like we wanted. The USFL championship game, I believe, is on June 30th. So be ready for that. The North Division Championship, again, comes on today on NBC and Peacock at 5 p.m. Pacific, 7 Central, 8 Eastern. Tomorrow, the South Division Championship will take place on Fox at 4 p.m. Pacific, 6 Central, 7 Eastern. So y'all keep y'all TV channels ready, Fox and NBC, as well as the Peacock app. You can watch the game on Fox on the Fox Sports app. So I'll get ready, man. We're going to keep covering everything football on this show. And we're going to have more guests. So Gabe's going to be coming back on here soon, too, of course. And like you said, I'll be on his show here soon. I'll let you guys know when, so we can tune into that on his YouTube channel. And I want to thank everybody who watched today from YouTube, everybody who watched today on Facebook. I appreciate the love from you guys, man. You guys are awesome people, man. I swear to God, you guys are awesome. You guys keep me going with this shit. You guys and my wife are like the reason I continue to do this and keep striving to reach my goal of, eventually being on ESPN and working with ESPN and the XFL. So it's going to happen. I'm just like Skubie said, I just got to stay humble and stay balanced and everything and just continue to strive for my goals. You know what I mean? So, hey, thank you, bro. I really appreciate the love, man. Thank you so much. Like, it's been huge for me today to have you guys here. But thank you. Hit. Thank you for real. Next week is going down. We got a lot more. I'm bring you guys more any more XFL showcase news. Like I said, we got 44 claimed rights to rookies that were undrafted. So that's huge for our league, y'all. Fang gang. Thank you, GV. I appreciate you. Definitely, man. I appreciate the love, brother. This was a great show today. Hey, you're not the only one, bro. You are not the only one, bro. Honestly, man, you are not the only one. Hey, GV. Here in a little bit when I'm gonna go start up these clothes in the washer and dryer and everything, or in the washer, do this laundry. But I'm gonna get on some 7 days in Discord. I want you to get on with me if you feel like it. If you ain't streaming today, but you guys be ready for next week. Tune in next week. We're gonna have another great show for you guys. Also tune into Gabriel Garcia's podcast show, The Gridiron Nation. Episode 59, I believe, drops tomorrow or gets recorded tomorrow. I'm not sure if he's gonna be live. Let him know. Hit, you crazy, bro. But we love you, man. And again, man, I just want to thank y'all for just continuing to support me, man. Exclamation, Hello Fresh. Oh, actually, you can't do it yet. I gotta fix that, but we'll get you that Hello Fresh for YouTube and Facebook as well. And you guys can get you that exclamation Hello Fresh. Yes, 59 will drop tomorrow. All right, bet. Yes, episode 59, the Gridiron Nation podcast drops tomorrow. 58 was an awesome episode, bro. Yo, you doing your thing, man. I love your show. It's so diverse, but it's about football. You know what I mean? So y'all go check out Gabe's show if you hasn't, man. Please go check out Gabe's show. Like the stream, share the stream. Hello from the other side. No, but we'll get that HelloFresh command working for you guys so you guys can get that code for 60% off and free shipping for next week's show. And hopefully next week we'll have the new logos for the Gridiron podcast show, the new screens and everything, the new intro, the whole nine. But until next week, man, I love you guys. Again, I want to thank you guys always for, just being who you are and showing me the love that you guys show me, bro. For real. But again, this is a Gridiron with your host, Jersey the King. Love you guys. Thank you for watching. Have a good day, bro. I'll hit y'all up in Discord. For everybody that's in Discord, man. I love y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Like the stream, share the stream, subscribe to the channel, turn that notification bell on. Let's get it. I like the boy.